department is spoiled. Moving his hands already. Right here? Yeah. Not bad. Not a bad place to be.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Shannon Stone and this is 850 Fireman. So this segment is a little different, okay? So it's a little long. So if you're one of these ADD firefighters that you can't keep attention more than 2 minutes, then just go ahead and fast forward past this and go to something. Well, no, actually don't. Stay with this. This is actually a very important subject. So I started talking to some buddies of mine about stress decompression. I'm on my 24th, so I'm starting my 25th year in the fire department, and it is even more important now than it ever has been. I think I'm really truly understanding the impact, the long-term impact that we have, that is laid upon us on doing this job and some of the things we see and do. So I started talking to some friends about how they dealt with it, so I decided to do a little segment, and I got to be honest with you, it was tough. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. It's a tough subject to talk about. It's hard to pin guys down about it. So take a look at this, and all it is just some guys talking about how they deal with stress and how they stress decompress, because it's the subject that we don't talk about enough in the fire service, and we need to. We truly do, because we have brothers that are struggling every day to deal with some of the things that we see and do, and then you add in everyday normal life stuff, and you know, let's be honest with ourselves, it's not easy, so we need to figure out a better way to cope with it. So hey, check these videos out. Try to stay the whole time. It's about 10 maybe 12 minutes long. Check it out, you know, and do me a favor, please leave some comments in the comments section about some suggestions that maybe that you've done or you found that work or something. So maybe in some way, some form, some fashion, this video will help a brother out that's struggling. Okay, check them out.
Jason Martino from 561.
Yeah, but he's originally from 850, so that's why we're only letting him in this video. Where is that from? Where you at?
South Florida, Palm Beach County.
Palm Beach County. So a shout out to all those guys we know down there. We got one of you guys up here.
I'm Larry from Long Beach. I'm 850 representing.
You've done this before, haven't you?
Wow.
Pretty good, actually.
Let me show you. I watch this. Larry, this is how you do it. Yo, this is Jason Martino from 561. That's South Florida and Palm Beach County. Yo. That's how you do it.
Was that for the young Thundercats out there?
That's for the young guys down in Battalion 3.
That's great. Now, I've seen you guys on the internet. Isn't it this?
Or
No.
This.
Oh, that. Okay. These are all the guys at 33 down in Palm Beach. I keep seeing you on the Facebook, like throwing gang signs at fires, like 33. We need to start doing that downtown, like 6. We're from the 6. No. Okay.
Stop.
Hey, so this is kind of what one of the things that I do and my friends do is not necessarily. I know, isn't it awesome? This is what we have in the 850. It's unbelievable. This is why I live here. It's not necessarily this, although this is good. In moderation, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but this isn't what we're out here for.
No, you need to. Shannon, here's the deal. And I'm talking to the camera, I'm talking to these guys. Honestly, we have heard so much about firefighter death, suicide, alcoholism, drug addiction, all these things. And guys are doing these things to decompress, and that's not the healthy way to decompress. You have to decompress yourself in a healthy way before you let this build up. And it just happened in my department just the other day where we had a gentleman committed suicide right after retirement. And you want to work 25, 30 years, and you want to retire and enjoy it with your family. And in my opinion, we have to deal with it as it comes along. You can't just wait for everything to get on top of you and then think you're going to deal with it in a healthy way.
So what do you do? What do you do to kind of balance the stress a little bit?
That's
Aside, come down here and hang out with
yeah, this is what I do right here.
850 Fireman, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a good stress.
I think he carries a gun and tries to go out.
He does. By the way, do you shave?
I do shave.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're getting off track. Go ahead. What do you do?
Besides coming up and getting your 850 sunshine, I come out and hang out with my family. In the recent months, I've really found balance in my life between I like to work out. I like to actually unplug from the job. I take and shut my phone off. Me and my wife get into the Word, in the Bible. We have our things, you know, working out and just talking and a little drinking. I'm sucking a bottle of Jack Daniels every night, with a glass of wine, you know, and just, I found balance in my life with taking care of my body by working out, taking care of my mind by talking to my wife and getting some word, and then I also just found balance in it, not being consumed for jobbing every minute of the day. And for those of you who know me, I love the job. But
So how long you been on the job?
this is my 25th year.
25 years. So for all you young Thundercats out there that are watching this in the internet world, Facebook world, there's something to be taken from the wisdom of the guys that's been on the job. And I say that because we were young guys and we used to listen to some of the things old guys would say and shake our heads at. This isn't one of them, because I wish somebody would have pulled me aside and had this same conversation, because I've had to navigate the waters, figured it out myself.
Listen, they don't talk about it. Here's the deal. And for the young guys, they don't talk about it because it's not cool. All right, they'll talk about tattoos and video games and whatever, you know, boat they're buying and stuff like that. Nice tattoo, fella. But we have to talk. We have to talk about this. We have a great employees assistance program where I work, and listen, man, I'm not embarrassed about it all. I go talk to my lady. Her name's Ellen. I go once a month. And I go for a conversation where I need to talk about something or not. I go once a month. And that's just what I do. So look good on camera.
And we're also supported by beautiful women. This is Jason's wife, Cheryl. She's the camel person.
Cheryl. Hi, A50.
You got to have one of these to really support you without question. So
no, I've tried to find balance, and we don't talk about it early enough.
what do you do? I mean, what are your thoughts? We talk about balance all the time. I mean,
I think a big part of mine is finding a hobby to dump all your time into when you're not at work. I work on cars, do a lot of wrench turning for my buddies and everybody else, but I also network. I have long, in-depth conversations with guys that I feel are in my inner circle. Shannon's one of them, and it's work, kids, family. I talk to my dad a lot, basically, too. I
talk to guys with gray hair because they got a lot of wisdom.
I reach out and network
That's seniority right
try and dump some of that stress, but also I try and see what's going around and absorb it. I try and stay up on current events. I try and stay up with what's going on in the world.
I can tell you it's not this with him, because is this your first or second?
That's my first.
Oh shit! Well, we got one more for 8 hours. That's all he can do.
I'm a lightweight.
They can cut him off. He just gets so moving.
I drank so much beer this week with you guys, I feel like a tick. I'm about to explode.
That's basically it. I network with my buddies. I work on a lot of cars. I'm not at work, and however, I do go to work and I put my heart and soul into it, and that's what it's all about. So, enjoy the job. I enjoy my off time. I enjoy being with my friends, family, my kids. So, gotta have the balance. Or
This out here, what you see, for anybody who knows me, I'm a big boat person. I'm a big water guy. I grew up in the water surfing and snorkeling and boating. So we come out here on a regular basis. Normally I have all my kids out here, but today, because my boy Jason's down and we drug Larry out, it's an adult day, so there's no kids out here.
Kid free. Suck it, kids. No kids out here.
I said on the way here, it's the first time all summer long that I haven't had my kids out with me, so I don't quite know how to act. But you know, in all seriousness, to touch on what Larry said and what Jason said, is that you got to have fun and outlet. You know, and here's the thing. Here's something for all you young Thundercats to think about. Start doing something now, because without question, I'm convinced now, after almost 25 years, Jason and I came to the job at the same time. He was in Pensacola, I was in Fort Walton. I will tell you, there is, without question, would you agree? Would you guys agree? Without question, there's a cumulative effect. And you don't realize in your first 10 years, because in your 20s, you're having fun, but when you start getting into your 40s and you run thousands of calls, and out of those thousands of calls, some very horrific things, and some very awesome things, actually. The rescue we just had 2 days ago at a department fire, that was awesome.
Well, every little bit that you see, little bits of it stick with you.
It puts in a mental file.
It does, and you bring it up from time to time, and when it does come up, you've got to be able to analyze why it comes up and be able to have outlets so you can dump that off.
Or better yet, acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because this is what I want you young guys to think about, is to find the balance. For me personally, here's a big thing I've done for years and years, is I take off for a month a year. Which, for those that know me, find it kind of odd, because am I into the job? Yeah. To the point where Larry's like, sometimes like, dude, pull the reins back a little bit, relax a little bit.
Slow your roll.
Yeah, slow your roll, right? I'm into the job, but you know, take off. Take off for a couple weeks at a time. And I've always said it's kind of like when you get off of the summer break in high school or in junior high, right? And you swear to God you don't want to go back to school, but in the back you're really kind of ready to get back. If you love the job, that's what it's like. You come back with a fresh start. The very first time I did it was probably about 15 years ago. And I did it when I first made captain, like after the first year. And then when I got away from the fire department, about 5 days after I was away, I had no idea on the stress I was under until I got away, and then I just felt like it was lifted off me. That's when it clued. So I was probably 12, 13 years in at the time. That's when it became evident to me that it needs to be done. So you young guys out there, start thinking about this and start doing it, because if you don't, I promise you, regardless of what you do, you're going to struggle with it when you get older. That's my opinion. But if you start focusing on acknowledging it early, then it will less impact your family when you become an old guy like me. Here's the last thing I want you to think about. A gentleman that I've got to meet over the last 4 or 5 years that works with him, really awesome guy named Rick George. So Rick, if you're watching this, a shout out to you.
What up, Rick?
I had a conversation with FDIC, and I don't know if he remembers it or not. We were talking about suicide rates because he does the Monster Within and stuff. And to basically put it in a nutshell, the suicide rates that are recorded in our job occupation exceed the line of duty deaths. That's not the crazy thing. The crazy thing is they think they're only capturing a third of that. So think about that a second. Think about it. If we're only capturing a third of the suicide rates, you tell me if it's a problem with stress in our occupation and how we deal with it. So it's something to ponder about. So anyhow, check out some other interviews with some other guys I talked to.
We're gonna decompress.
850.
What do you do?
Shove meat in my mouth.
That's one thing. That's pretty good. What do you do for stress relief away from the job, Justin?
Jazzercise.
Jazzercise or prancercise? I heard prancercising is kind of the thing.
Do hot yoga. Hot yoga.
What's hot yoga? Exactly.
I used to do yoga in a hot room, and it keeps going up to like 98 degrees.
So that's what you do for real? Hot yoga?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get in the back of the class, watch the sweat fall off all their asses.
It's my ass as well.
Okay.
We do it together.
All right. So for Palm Beach, Engine 7A. That's what they do in the downtime.
Stress debrief.
Warning!
Recommend you do it.
Warning! Bullshitter alert! Bullshitter alert!
I
Warning!
eat crafty. That's what I do.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we like.
We're just gonna talk. I'm gonna talk to you. You don't even pretend like Slayton is. This is gonna be totally odd for him.
Huh?
Are you ready?
I don't deal with this shit.
Are you already recording?
Work the camera, baby. Work the camera.
Because you got to do something where it doesn't bother you. I mean, what do you do?
Okay.
See,
First of all,
he totally is uncomfortable. This is awesome.
I'm into physical fitness, so I run. That's my first thing, but I do physical fitness right now primarily to stay in shape for the job. Plus, it's a stress reliever as far as every morning I get up and I run 6 to 10 miles a day.
Someone chasing you when you do that? What the hell?
Man, it's very
I don't
relaxing.
even like riding 6 to 10 miles on my
I don't even like
motorcycle.
being in my car 6 to 10 miles.
Believe it or not, to get my mind off of work and stuff like that, I'll do things such as surfing, wakeboarding, fishing, and hunting. And those are things that actually I'm fully concentrated on other things where I'm not thinking about my work life, my home life, or anything like that, but I'm concentrating on catching that fish, catching that wave, or killing the deer or duck or whatever it is.
Well, hopefully you stayed long enough to get to the end of this. I know it was just a lot of general discussion and everything, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I didn't quite capture what I wanted to capture. It's difficult, to be honest with you. By the time you have the conversations with the guys, they're over with, and you pull the camera out, and it's just not the same. So I'm going to leave you just a couple nuggets to think about. One, certainly if you're in a position as a company officer, as a battalion chief, that you can control this, think about limiting your exposure to your younger guys or to your people in general. I'll give you an example. We had a shooting here a couple weeks ago. A guy was shot in the head, and I don't have to give you the details. I'm sure most of you guys watching this have been on it and seen it, but you can imagine he wasn't viable. There was absolutely no need in exposing additional people to that. PD is already there, had the scene secure. I had 2 companies, a truck and a rescue coming. I held everybody up except one of the medics on the rescue to come in and make the call on the individual that he wasn't going to survive. It was over with. So here's the thing: limit your exposure. I had a couple young guys. They've got their entire career to see this stuff, and I do firmly believe after you know, many years of doing this, that we create a mental file cabinet that at the time we don't really think much about. I certainly didn't 5, 10, 15 years into it, but I can tell you, you know, after 2 decades of doing this, it adds up and it comes back to haunt you. I do believe they're hidden demons, and that even at your 5 or 10 year mark, if you're in that mark right now and you're thinking that it isn't bothering you, well, I got news for you. It's going to come back on you. So let's limit our exposure to these types of calls to the best of our ability. Sometimes we absolutely can. A lot of times we absolutely can't. But there are times that we can limit the exposure. And I wish that would have happened with me the first 2 decades of my career. But I'm certainly going to do it for these guys that I work with. So think about limiting your exposure. The last thing, and I'm going to wrap it up, is have an outlet, guys. If you're one of these firefighters that eat, you know, breathe and drink this job, and you have no other thing outside of it, you gotta find something, brothers. You gotta find something. You gotta find an outlet, something other than the fire service to get away from it, to de-stress. And you may not even realize it, but I'm telling you, you do. Because the one time you do it, you'll realize how much you're carrying on your shoulders. So that's all I got. Sorry it didn't turn out quite the way I'd hoped it, but you know, hopefully this will help somebody. Do me a favor, leave some comments in the comments section if you have suggestions or you have stories or something that you think other brothers will benefit from. Because if one person, if one brother or one sister gets something out of this, then we're doing something right. Okay? I'm Shannon. This is 850 Fireman. We'll see you next time.